welcome to Rissa's Video Diary. Today's episode will be all about glowing up. And what I will say is that glowing up isn't just a physical enhancement, it is also a mental aspect as well. And I will be covering both bases. So I do have my notes, okay? Came prepared. And I'm just gonna honestly, I don't have a script, so I'm just going to look down, see my point, and then just speak freely. So if you see me looking down, you know why. So let's start with the physical, shall we? So a physical glow up, at least for me in my journey, I would say the biggest tip is to just overall create a signature look for yourself, okay? So I would say start with the three main important things, okay? The S, M, S. So S as in style, M as in makeup, and then S as in scent. The SMS. So, number one, find your personal style. Now, how I found my personal style, oh wait, before I forget, let me just say, in case anybody's wondering, the jewelry is, the rings is Aldo, okay? The bracelets are thrifted. I don't know what brand, sorry. The hat is also thrifted. This one, Value Village. I think this is Value, this is Salvation, and the scarf as well is Value Village. So, yeah, and the top, Value Village. So, yeah. Anyways, back to what I was saying. So, finding your personal style. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I think like looking like everybody else is boring. It doesn't intrigue me. It's not interesting. It doesn't get others' attention, and that's not even what I'm trying to do when I dress, but it's just boring to me. I don't want to look like everybody else. We're all individual. We're all unique in our own way. We all have our own unique beauty. Why would I want to look like everybody else? So I'm just going to start off with the biggest thing, which is trends. Now, don't get me wrong. You can follow trends, but please follow trends that you actually like, and please don't have your whole style just revolve around trends. Have, things that you know are staples for your wardrobe. Have basics. For me, I know that I love like the 2000s style. So having things like, having things like low-rise jeans, those are essential in my style. It's not just me following an aesthetic for the trend. So please, and also when it comes to trends, if something is no longer considered trendy but you still like it, go ahead and wear it. Go ahead and wear it. I hate how, 1 minute, oh, leopard print is in, the next minute it's out. I'm sorry, as a fashionista, leopard print is timeless. I don't care how many of the TikTok girlies say, oh, leopard print is out, now it's in, now it's out. Make up your mind. Make up your mind, please. So what I will say about trends is, when it comes to trends, please don't say you like a trend just because you've been exposed to it for so long and you see other people doing it and you feel left out. Don't like a trend because of that, or because you constantly see it shoved in your face. Make sure you like a trend because you genuinely like how it looks. You can see yourself wearing it. You can see it in your style. You can see it manifest in your wardrobe. Okay? That's just my biggest disclaimer when it comes to fashion and styles, because TikTok is very influential, and I feel like people just follow the crowd and just follow everybody up, and they see one thing, everybody sees it, now they run with it. It's like you look, don't get me started, okay? All I'm gonna say is that people take a centimeter and then the rest of y'all take a mile. Please slow down, okay? Slow down. What I did to find my personal style is I thrifted, okay? What I did is I created a thrift list, and I looked at my list, and then from there I kind of just analyzed it. I was like, okay, well, what's something that I keep seeing repeatedly with the color schemes, right? Or with the silhouettes, right? Or with the designs, patterns, things like that, texture, okay? So I created a thrift list, and through that thrift list, I added, I did it in my notes actually. I think I can show you guys. It's all over the place right now because I'm literally changing it up. But I have a whole bunch of pictures, okay? Whole bunch of pictures, all these different things, and all that. So, don't get me wrong. It's a long list, okay? You don't need to go in depth as I have, but because fashion is one of my passions, I went all out, okay? And through my thrifted list, I created a section called special features, okay? Special features is basically the things that I like. So I separated it into categories. I put tops. What do I like seeing in tops? I like lettuce hems, ruffles. I like graphics such as cherries, butterflies, stars, hearts, bows, flowers, fairies, seashells, strawberries, ladybugs, angel wing graphics. Those are the things that I love. What else? I love contrast lace, you know, when the lace on the outside is like a black and then the inner lining is like a cream color, right? I love puff sleeves. I love puff sleeves. I love bows. I love bell sleeves. I love cap sleeves. I love beads, you know? Halter neck with like the beads coming down. That's cute to me, okay? I love the jellyfish tentacles. I think that's really cute. I find it very whimsical, flirty. I love mesh patterns, okay? For bottoms, I love embroidery, flowers. Oh my gosh, beautiful. Butterflies. Yes, give me more. I love diamonds, studs, slits, pearls. I love contrast stitching. I love grommets and lots of pockets. I'm a cargo pant girly, okay? I love low-rise pants with, you know, thick belts. I love bubble hems, depending on what it manifests itself on and how it looks, but we'll get there. So I just started, you know, analyzing myself, and I started writing them down, and I started doing research on silhouettes and this and that, and what's drawn, like what am I drawn to, you know? What else? And I wrote down aesthetics, because although trends can be, honestly, with the speed that they're going, it can be detrimental for like the fashion cycle and just sustainability. It can also be really helpful, because from trends we have aesthetics, we have things that we can search up on Google, so we can know like, oh, this is what I like, this is what it's called, and now I have a name to go by, so when I say this, people know what I'm talking about, right? So I put fairy core, I put island whimsy goth, definitely Y2K grunge. I love coquette. I love streetwear, earthy black girl, offer siren. I think that is really sexy and cute. And yeah, and then I put my dislikes. I have skinny jeans. For me, skulls, devil, and pentagram graphics. I do not mess with that stuff. Don't come near me. I'm not on that type of timing. What else? Zodiac graphics, not into that. Big sequins, I find them kind of tacky, unless potentially if they're in bags, I might like them. I don't like very busy paisley patterns with lots of different colors and it's not giving cohesive. I don't like that. Hunting camo, you will never, ever, 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 ever see me wear. And it's a trend right now, and that's why you have to know your personal style. Because if I didn't know my personal style, I could be up here in camo whole time. I hate hunting camo. I love regular camo, but hunting camo, no, that's where I draw the line. And no, it just reminds me of someone that I would rather not be reminded of. That's just me, okay? And yeah, I don't like neon. I don't like Crocs. That's just my personal preference. I wore Crocs when I was younger, okay? Right now, I don't see myself wearing Crocs. I just can't get into them. I think they're ugly. So sue me. That's my opinion, you know? I don't care for ponchos. Don't care for cowboy boots, bloomers, and just a whole bunch of other stuff. But you know what? Me writing them down really made me know what I do not like. And so even when I go to the thrift store and I'm thrifting for this stuff, I'm not consciously aware sometimes, right? When I pick up something and then I buy it, but then I'll go back in my list. I'm like, oh my gosh, it has this, this, and this, and this. And I even wrote down that I like this, 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 and this. And it has exactly what I had liked. So it's good because it's like a subconscious reminder, even if you're not consciously thinking of it. So that's just what I have. And then I have something called boundaries, where I might be uncomfortable with wearing certain clothing. For me, crop tops. I'm not going to wear a crop top. I just, no. Um, yeah, I just, no. Super micro mini skirts and shorts, not for me. Not for me. And then I put things like fashion icons. I have brats, because, yeah, they did their big one. And I put their specific lines and collections. I put Bratz Rock Angels, Bratz Wintertime Wonderland First Edition, Forever Diamonds, Girls Night Out, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Express It First Edition, Passion for Fashion First Edition, Wildlife Safari, Treasures. Those are all collections that I love the style of and I will take inspiration from. I put Totally Spies because, hello, they're the queen of like retro 70s type of looks. I love that. What else? We have Nana. There's so many different aesthetics in Nana. So you have different characters that you can draw inspo from. I love that. Each one has their own individuality. And then I even have like specific influencers. But honestly, I don't like using the word influencers. So content creators that I love, their fashion, and I'll watch for either inspo or because they actually have the same fashion style as me. So I have Steal the Spotlight. She's very good with honestly Japanese fashion, just a lot of different things, right? And I have Eve Lily. She's on Instagram more so, and Steal the Spotlight is more on YouTube. So I would recommend checking out both of them, honestly. And then even like Monster High, even things like inspos, redraws from fans, like it really just helps to get your gears turning, right? And it helps you be more creative with your outfits. So I like to draw inspo from those places and those people and those forms of media. And then I even have brands that I like thrifting, right? I have No Boundaries, Revamped, Guess, Nine West, Seduction, XOXO, Harley Davidson, DKNY. I have Fredericks of Hollywood, Bebe, Juicy Couture, Le Chateau, Bongo, Trip NYC. I have Rampage, Parasuco, Lip Service, a whole bunch of different brands that I like thrifting. And so when I go thrifting, I can be intentional with what I buy. So, yeah. Not to rant on too much because I could go a little too crazy with the fashion talk, but yeah, I just started thrifting more, and that's how I developed my sense of style. That's how I gained more of my confidence in what I wore and how I presented myself to the world. And so I would also say, besides thrifting and analyzing your style, I would say that Pinterest is a great way to curate your taste, see what you like, to pin outfit ideas, draw some inspo. You could even do outfit recreations until you learn how to layer, how to do this, how to layer jewelry and all these different things. So, what I will say about Pinterest though, the problem is that Pinterest can be a little disconnected from reality. Honestly, all of social media really, because something that you think is a trend, and it could be a trend on social media, but then you go outside, no one's wearing this stuff. So you're out here in your bloomers and you feel like, oh damn, where's everybody at? So honestly, that's why I don't like, I'm not a trend person. Okay, I like what I like. If it just so happens to be trendy, oh well. Oh well. For that moment, it has popularity. But just as quickly as it came, it can quickly go. People change their minds, people flip-flop, and that's okay as long as I still like what I'm wearing. So, yeah, Pinterest can be disconnected from reality, but so is social media, so just keep that in mind. Anything else? Oh yeah, you could also go to content creators, like I said, for outfit inspo, but also advice. I have a playlist that I created, and it's titled like How to Find Your Style, and I have a whole list of people who have made videos on how to find your style and what worked for them. And I picked and choose what advice I wanted to go with, what resonated with me, and here I am. Okay, here I am. So The second thing, finding your signature makeup look. Okay, I'm not currently wearing any makeup, but for my signature makeup look, I like doing a kohl liner on my waterline at the bottom. I like doing inner corner liquid eyeliner, and I like doing my outer liquid eyeliner. And I really like to emphasize my eyes. So let me go through the questions that I have here, because to find your signature makeup look, you have to ask yourself, how much time do you have to do makeup on a daily basis? Because if you don't have that much time to do makeup on a daily basis, but you want to wear makeup on a daily basis, you have to create a routine that will work for you. And if you know fully well that you got school, work, you know fully well you're not going to wake up at 5 a.m. to do your damn makeup and do a full beat. You got to be realistic. So, that's the first question. Second question, how much are you willing to spend on makeup? Because like I said, the bigger your routine, the more products, which means the more money you spend. And makeup is not cheap, let me tell you. I my friend, she wanted to get into makeup, and I got her like basically a lot of makeup for like, because she didn't want to do base makeup. Basically she wanted to start off simple, so I gave her a lot of eye makeup, things like mascara. I gave her my lip combo, I gave her lip liner, lip gloss, I gave her brow gel, and even things like that was I was like, whoa. I felt that one in my bank account, but you know what, that's fine, because I'm perfectly willing to put in the effort to get her a Christmas gift that she would love. That's not relating to what I'm telling you, but I'm just saying, if you are going to get into makeup, know that you are going to have to either save up money, budget yourself, or figure it out, because yeah. And I would honestly recommend starting with Dollar Tree makeup. That's actually what I did. When I first got into makeup, I started with Dollar Tree makeup. LA Colors is a good brand, and then I branched out, and I actually ended up getting I think 2 Amazon gift cards, or one. I think 1 Amazon gift card, and I bought a whole bunch of makeup off Amazon because it's cheaper. And that's also how I started my makeup journey, because at that time I was in grade 12, and I wanted to do makeup for my graduation photo and for prom, and I was not paying other people to do that, because that's just more expensive. So yeah, how much are you willing to spend on makeup? The third question, what features would you like to accentuate? For me, I love my lips, my nose, my eyes. I love everything, but what I really want to draw attention to is my eyes. My eyes is like the main focus for me. And then number 4, what have you noticed that looks good on you? If you don't know what looks good on you, honestly, I would say watching like some facial analysis videos about different facial types, and shapes and eye shapes and all those things, and even watching and finding creators that are professional makeup artists, right? Or they don't even have to be professional. You could just like the way that they do their makeup, right? You can see that they're a similar race to you, and then if you, for example, have monolid eyes, you're like, okay, this person also has monolid eyes. Let me follow them. Let me see what they do for their makeup. There's ways that you can, get tips and tricks and practice and learn. So for the part where it's like, what have you noticed looks good on you? Maybe you noticed that when your sister or your mother or, your friend did your makeup, you really liked how your eyebrows looked, right? So let's say you know that when you start doing your own makeup, you want to recreate that eyebrow look, right? Something as simple as that, just knowing what you want and then practicing and using your money to go towards that. What else? Oh, last question is, how do you want to be perceived? Now for this, I would say that when people first meet me, I usually tend to smile a lot, but if I'm not smiling, I'm not going to lie, I do have a resting bitch face. And people have told me that I look intimidating. So yeah, for me, I wanted to be perceived, well, I didn't want to, but like, I started, embracing the fact that, oh, okay, I look intimidating, alright, let me, ease into it. So I like an intense, like, eye look that really gets you to focus on your eyes. I like that type of intensity, because I've already gotten it all my life. Like, oh, you look intimidating. Mind you, I wasn't even wearing makeup at that time, back then. So it's like, okay, I'm just gonna feed into it. Oh well. If this is what people keep telling me, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna make it my own. I'm going to make it into a confidence booster for myself. I'm not gonna feel bad now when people tell me, oh, I look intimidating. Oh well. Oh well. So, yeah. Next, number 3, find your signature scent. So this was something that I just recently started doing. And so the questions that you have to ask yourself, what is your budget / how much are you willing to spend? Because perfume is expensive. Let me tell you, looking good and smelling good is expensive. Holy, like, so that's something you have to figure out. For me, I definitely didn't want to spend, like, I was not spending 100 on one perfume, over 100 on one perfume. That's just not something I'm willing to do. And I know that I did my research. Okay, I did my research. I got into Arabian perfumes, and when I tell you, those perfumes are the bomb. Thebomb.com. And they saved me a pretty little penny too. I was like, oh, so not only are you good quality, you smell good, but you also saved my coin. Good to know. Good to know. So I would definitely say, if you're trying to get into fragrances, smelling good on a budget, definitely get into Arabian perfumes. And then also, part of smelling good too is also layering your scents and having a body care routine. Because I wasn't having a body care routine like that. Like, I wasn't layering with my, and I didn't have like what do you call it? What are those things called? Body scrubs. I didn't have body scrubs and all those things that I thought were super fancy. But once you get into them and you start layering your scents and you start putting on your body oils, and you're like, oh, this is different, but I like it. I feel more pampered, more elevated, more sophisticated. I feel more confident because I know I not only look good, but I smell good too, right? So, the next question is, what are you looking for in your signature scent? For example, you could be looking for projection, right? You want your scent to be strong. You want a scent that before you even walk in the room, people smell you. People know it's you coming. So, when you create a signature scent for yourself, it creates a memory for others. And that's what I love about it. People will always associate you with that smell. So, or you could even want longevity, right? Let's say you're sensitive to strong scents, but you want a scent that will last. That's something that you can look for, right? And all you gotta do is do the research, okay? Search up on YouTube, like, oh, best Arabian perfumes. Look at what people say about those perfumes. Read the reviews. Do the work, okay? And then what else? The next question is, oh, how would you like to be perceived? Again, do you want to be perceived as sexy? Do you want to be perceived as sensual? Do you want to be perceived as cute, flirty? Do you want to be perceived as sweet, gourmand? But then there's different types of gourmand, but you'll get into it when you get into perfumes. Do you want to be perceived as elegant, classy, sophisticated? Okay? What's the vibe that you want to bring off when people smell you? Next, knowing what vibe and what you want to be perceived as will help you know, are there specific notes that you are looking for? What notes could you possibly like? For me, I know I love a good vanilla. I am a gourmand girly. I love smelling delicious, edible. Okay? That's just me personally. So I know that I would want a perfume to have a little bit of vanilla in there. And I do like a deep, rich smell as well. A deep, dark smell. So I know I like musk, right? So, yeah, just honestly, those are what I came up with for the physical glow up, and those are the things that I did. And number 4, the last thing for the physical glow up aspect, work on your insecurities. If you have acne, or and you feel like that's stopping you from I don't know, wearing what you want to wear, which don't let it stop you, but I mean, I gotta take my own advice. I don't have acne, but I have eczema, and I have eczema scars that come with it. So it's a stepping stone for everybody. We're all learning, okay? Yeah, do you want to work on acne? Maybe you have really textured skin. I know I do. I have textured skin, so I got into skincare. I did a whole bunch of research. I know that y'all Korean people, y'all be doing it the best. So I did my research. Okay? I did my research. My skin isn't perfect, and if I'm being honest, the quality of the camera is hiding all the imperfections. Y'all don't see it. And even if you were to see it on the camera, that's okay. That's okay, because, well, I'll get into that when we get into the mental part, but yeah, do you want to work on acne? Do you want to work on, I don't know, maybe you have dull skin, you know, just figure out things you want to work on. Maybe you have scars you want to get rid of. Do the research. I know that bio oil, I heard, was really good for scars, stretch marks, this, that, the third, etc. Okay? Alright, so now we're going to go into the mental part. So my biggest tip for how I mentally glue up, I definitely strengthened my mindset, okay? And I have, I think, like 5 things that I did. So I'm just going to list them out, and then I'm going to go in depth with each one of them. So, number 1, set boundaries. Number 2, be unbothered with people's perception of you. Number 3, be authentic in how you present yourself, right? Number 4, don't bring down the old you. And don't be hard on the current you for not reaching the level of perfection you are trying to achieve. I know that's a mouthful. I'll say it again. Don't bring down the old you, and don't be hard on the current you for not reaching the level of perfection you are trying to achieve. Number 5, attention is just the byproduct of leveling up, so embrace it. Embrace it. Now, before I go on to the mental, before I even tackle that, there's something I wrote down, because I'll just get this, like, I don't know, this inspiration out of nowhere, so I'll just write it down sometimes. So here's what I wrote, okay? And this is about the physical aspect, right? When you work on your, when you work on your dressing, when you work on how you smell and things like that. So there's an elevated sense of confidence that just hits different when you know that you are well groomed and taking care of yourself, okay? When you know that people will smell you from a mile away before you even walk in. And when you do walk in, you not only have a sense of humor, but a sense of fashion too, okay? You know that when you walk in that room, you will be getting at least 5 compliments for that afternoon. Amen. And the biggest confidence booster is walking out knowing that you made a lasting impression that will never be forgotten. Never. Okay? Whether their perception of you was negative or positive, it's not your job to figure out. At the end of the day, they'll be thinking about you, pondering on you, right? Fixated on you. Authenticity is the highest form of individuality, and they see that in you. So, when you go on this journey, don't be afraid to be recognized. Don't be afraid to be seen. Embrace it. Okay? Now, going on to the physical aspect and the points that I made, the mental aspects of a glow up. Number 1, set boundaries. Okay? To set boundaries, you have to know your value. You have to know what type of person you are. You have to know your character. You have to know what you bring to the table. Point blank, period. Once you know those things, let me tell you, that's when the game changes. That's when you as the player evolve. Once you know those things, you know that you will not just let anybody talk to you anyhow. You won't just let anybody treat you anyhow. You won't let people just randomly go ghost and then want to be back in your life. Hell nah. Who do you think you are? Because I know who I am. You must have thought you was the president or something, and even then, the president could never speak to me that way. So, setting boundaries is honestly what will save you from a whole bunch of bad experiences. That's just me being honest. There's one person I had to set that boundary with, and after that, I kid you not, setting boundaries just came like this. It just was so easy after that. One person. And that's all it took. That's all it took. One person, that one trigger, and then immediately I was like, okay, I see how you moving, cut y'all all off. And you know what? That's the thing that you guys have to understand. Don't be afraid to be alone. If the people that you are around are not, they're not filling your cup, they're not benefiting you positively, and you're always constantly giving to them and then never receiving, don't feel like you need to stay around them because, oh, I don't want to look like a loner. Oh, well, boo-hoo. Boo-hoo. Womp womp. Sorry to use the lingo on y'all, the TikTok lingo, whatever, but womp womp. So what? And you know what? That's another thing. You have to learn, because there's going to be a period in your life where you go through self-isolation. I went through it. And honestly, I'm also a homebody, so yeah. But, you know, you're going to have to learn to be alone with yourself. And I don't know about y'all, but I can be alone with myself and I will be so entertained. So entertained. And you know, it's crazy because I always say, if people, you know, were to watch me through a camera 24/7, they would think I was crazy. Because I talk to myself. I laugh at my own jokes, babe. But I'm not crazy. I'm not. I still got a good head on my shoulders. I just know how to have fun with myself. I do things that make me happy. I spend time with myself. I read my books. I get to where I'm going. I do the studying I need to do. So I would say that's another point all on its own, but set boundaries, okay? Next, number 2, be unbothered with people's perception of you. Like I said previously, people would think that I was intimidating, mean, this, that, and you know, I've had people call me a bitch, and I really used to be offended. I really used to be all up in my feelings, like, what? I never did anything to you. Why are you calling me a bitch? Or what? I try to be compassionate. I try to look out for people's feelings. I try to be considerate. I am empathetic. I'm this, that, and the third. Why am I the bitch? And you know what? I stopped caring. Like, genuinely, I stopped caring. You know, and now I take it as a compliment. Why? Because it tells me that my presence, my aura, and who I am as a person intimidates them to the point of needing to bring me down. They're only calling me a bitch because they know that they're not that bitch, but they think I am. Clock it. You know what? And it's the people that misunderstand and mistake your confidence for arrogance, right? They could have had me as an ally, as a friend, as a confidant, and instead they chose to make me their competition. But you know what? I look at it and I'm like, in the long run, I'm thankful that you told me how you feel. I'm thankful for them making their feelings so loud and clear. You want to know why? Because I cannot compete where I do not compare. I don't have time for the competition. I don't have energy for the competition. And I would rather know up front that you don't like me than me finding out that you've been in secret competition with me this entire time. And the whole time I thought you was my homegirl. Oh, hell nah. Hell nah. It's 2025, babes. It's 2025. I am about to turn 20. The old me wasn't playing with bullshit, but the new me, she doesn't even entertain it. So I don't got time for all that. So and you know, I'm not saying that, because you know, it happened recent where a coworker did that. They called me a bitch, and I'm not saying that this is how they feel about me, but it just got me thinking. It got my gears turning, because I'm like, what possessed you? What possessed you? I don't speak to you that way. I don't. You've worked many jobs before. I'm sure you know there's a way that you communicate with your coworkers. I'm not close enough with you yet, girl. You just came on here. So, yeah. I don't take it as an insult though. I did tell her. Now, does that mean I let it slide? No, because what did I say? Set boundaries. Set boundaries. So I told her and I texted her and I was like, hey, I didn't appreciate that. And she was saying, and I understand. Like, she probably thought of it as like, oh, this is how I just communicate with my friends, in my personal life or whatever. And the way she said it wasn't in a way where it's like she was trying to purposely insult me. She was saying it as a jokey joke. But here's my thing. I don't like women and anybody in general calling me a bitch in a friendly manner, because the way that I look at it, when you get mad at me, when we have an argument, when we have a spat, a kerfuffle, whatever you want to call it, you're going to throw that word right back in my face and use it as an insult, and I don't appreciate that. It's either one or the other. So, don't be upset. Don't let people's perception of you now taint the perception that you have of yourself. Okay, that's the number one thing. And I had another experience, and this one was an older one. I went to a birthday party, right? And it was a friend's birthday party in the neighborhood, and I was dancing. I was having fun. And I remember sitting down at one point, and my ex-childhood best friend, she was like, she said, oh, like such and such cousin, like they said that like we look mean. Like, we look intimidating. Like, she said she doesn't want to talk to us because we look mean. And I'm like, okay. I don't know what to tell you. And I told her, I was like, if she wants to assume and judge us before she gets to know us, I don't want I don't want to be friends. I don't want to now strike up a conversation. Why? And why would I go out of my way to prove that I'm not mean to you just because you interpret me as a mean person? That doesn't make sense. I'm not looking for your approval, frankly. And I don't know if it was because we were older, I'm older. I was older than her. I'm not sure if it was because of that, but, there's certain things, like, especially you don't even know us. Like, why did you utter those words out loud? It's one thing to think it and then actually go out of your way to actually talk to us and try to get to know us and then be proven wrong. And it's another thing for you to say it out loud, and now it's traveling back to us. What am I supposed to do with that information? So, don't be bothered by people and their perceptions, because the only opinion that you should care about is your own, honestly. The next point for the mental part of a glow up, be authentic in how you present yourself. Okay? Be authentic. And the reason I say this is because, like, you might start this journey and try to be someone you're not. You might start this journey and try to change up how you talk. You might try to, like, I don't know, in a way impersonate another person because you, like, are enamored by them, you are inspired by them. But just be yourself, babes. Be yourself. Trust and believe. That is the real way that you become a magnet. That is the real way that others will be drawn to you. When you are so authentic in who you are, what you believe in, that is top tier energy. And you will then attract people. Some of them are bad. Some of them don't want the best for you. But you know what? You have discernment. You weed out the bad ones. You keep the good ones in. And the people that you attract will be just as authentic as you are to them. And that's honestly, like, kind of how it works. Like, I'm not a psychologist. I don't know much about the law of attraction, but what I do know is that when you just be authentic, you create some of the most beautiful interactions. You have some of the most wonderful experiences with others, with people, with the life around you, with the world around you, with the cultures around you, right? So, Yeah, just don't try to have a facade, because you want to be seen as this mysterious, like, who's that girl, or girl next door, super bubbly, and you're not really bubbly like that girl. Don't fake it. You can fake the confidence, right? Because once you continue faking it, you actually start to believe it, and that's where the delusion lies. So be careful. Yeah, be authentic. Don't compare yourself. Comparison is the thief of joy. Now, let me tell you a little story that happened. And me and my friend, we were on I wouldn't say it was a dating app, but like, it was like for strangers, and like you could, make friends with others, or you could actually seek out a relationship if you wanted to. And I remember during this point, like, she was really excited, she was talking to a whole bunch of guys, and she was really getting herself out there, blah, blah, blah. Super happy for her. Love that for you, Buki. And she kept talking about, like, all her different experiences. And it was starting to make me feel like, damn, because me and her, we have similar types, similar taste in men. And I was noticing that she was getting more of our type in her interactions. And then for me, I was getting more, like, white dudes and this and that, and I was like, how come I'm getting more of what I'm not really into, whereas you're getting more of our type? And I did not take that as like I did not take that as a moment to now be jealous and to start being vindictive and to wish her bad and blah, 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 blah. At the end of the day, I knew it was my feelings that was making me feel this way. It wasn't her fault. But because I voiced that to her, and that's why I love my bestie, we have such a genuine connection and friendship, I was able to voice that to her. She understood, and then she reeled herself back from speaking, in a certain way where it's like, it felt like she was boasting or bragging, which I didn't even feel that way at all, that she was boasting or bragging. But she knew how it can be interpreted and how it could make me feel. So, yeah, and it's funny because she had a friend where she was dealing with that friend, and they also were kind of feeling how I was feeling, but they did not handle it in a way that was, in my opinion, beneficial to the friendship. And they started doing things like copying how she dressed. They started copying how she dressed, wearing more jewelry that they never really bothered to wear. They started, doing this, doing that. And one day she was like, oh, I'm doing all these things, like, you're getting all this attention from guys, and I'm like, I started dressing more like you, I started being more similar like you, I started wearing more jewelry like you, da da da. How come I'm not getting that same attention? And I was just thinking to myself, girl, you're not being authentic. This isn't you. This is not how you used to dress at the beginning of the semester. You're not being authentic. That's why you're not getting that. And you know what? Let's say even before, right? She wasn't getting that attention, but she was her authentic self. That is why the physical aspect also plays a part. Because as much as we don't like to admit, yes, it's not all about beauty, but pretty privilege is a thing. You need to put an effort in how you look. That's how opportunities open up for you. That's how you strike conversations with others. People will see you and they'll look at your outfit and be like, oh my gosh, girl, you look good. Where'd you get that? Where'd you get this? Or, oh my gosh, girl, you smell amazing. What is that perfume? So, as much as we hate to admit, appearance does matter. It does play a part, but it's not everything. Your personality matters. Who you are on the inside matters. And that's why I say, like, you could be super pretty, you could be gorgeous, but if you have an ugly spirit, that is such a turnoff. For not only me, but others too, that is such a turnoff. If your attitude isn't up to par, if the way you conduct yourself is a little, girl, what's going on? Trust me, it's not just about looks. It's personality too. But once you put in that effort, you will see that effort manifest in ways, such as my point where I talked about attraction. being the byproduct of leveling up. You will see it manifest in ways. But I'm not onto that yet. So, yeah. So, back to that situation. She wasn't being authentic to herself. She compared herself to my friend, and then she didn't get the results that she wanted in the end. Whereas how I interpreted that situation for me, I knew that it wasn't her fault. I didn't hold it against her. I didn't have any jealousy. I didn't start copying her. I didn't do any of that stuff. I worked on myself. I knew that these were internal problems in which I had with myself, in which I felt inadequate when it came to guys. Right? And, obviously she did her best to comfort me, but at the end of the day, it's what you do to reassure yourself and to get over that hurdle. Because if you yourself don't believe it, it doesn't matter what other people say. So, my next point, number 4. Don't bring down the old you, and don't be hard on the current you for not reaching the level of perfection you're trying to achieve. There's a conversation that happened like a week ago, I want to say, 2 weeks ago maybe, and it was one of the shifts that I had in the weekday, and my assistant manager was with me, and one of my coworkers, and she was telling me like she gave me a compliment, and I said, oh, thank you so much, I like your hair, and then we went back to talking about fashion and style and this and that, and she was like, oh my gosh, like how you dress now compared to how you used to dress before. What was my reaction? I said, oh my gosh, don't even remind me. Don't remind me. Girl, why would you do yourself like that? The old you was still a part of you. The old you is still an era of your life, was still a timeline and a point of your life. Do not disrespect her and bring her down just because you are now elevated in who you are and you now feel ashamed or embarrassed. Don't do that. Because I can tell you that the old me, she didn't know what she liked in fashion. She was still experimenting. She wasn't thrifting as much as I am now. She wasn't experimenting with perfumes and scents. She didn't have a skincare routine. She didn't have a body care routine. It was just, go in the shower, wash yourself, make sure you're clean, get out. She also had a different financial situation. So let it be known that yes, you're elevated, right? You're coming into your womanhood, but do not ever disrespect who you used to be. Don't do that to yourself. And I look back at that conversation, I'm like, damn, why did I say that? Why did I treat myself like that? Why did I do myself like that? And when you do things like that, it also opens up the door for other people to critique and say rude things about the old you and the past you as well. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. And now the second half of that point was, don't be hard on the current you for not reaching the level of perfection you're trying to achieve. That's something I also have to remember, because I still got things I need to work on. Yeah, I have a skincare routine, but I gotta be consistent so I can actually see results. Yeah, I have a body care routine, but I need to actually start, targeting the specific areas that I want to work on. For example, I have a little bit of back knee. It's not to the point where it's like, oozing pus and this and that, but it's still something I want to work on. It's still something where I have hyperpigmentation on. And, me not being where I want to be does not give me the opportunity or the right to speak down on myself now, just because I'm not at the perfect way or looking perfectly how I would want to look. No, don't do that to yourself. That's not being kind. You wouldn't do it to others. Why are you doing it to yourself? That doesn't make sense. Yeah. And what else? Number 5. Attention is just the byproduct of leveling up. Ain't that the truth? So embrace it. And, I was a person who used to in my friend groups, in middle school, high school, I wasn't really getting guy attention like that, and I wasn't looking for it either. But, I was okay with just being kind of there. I wouldn't say I was invisible, but I never really got guy attention like that. Male attention, male validation, all that stuff. Now, holy moly, I was like, oh, y'all must have came out the woodworks, out of the sewers, something. Why are y'all all of a sudden now all up on me? Back up. At the end of the day, you look at yourself in the mirror, you think, well, I look the frick good. Who is she? She is me. And so you notice how you look. You notice how you present yourself. You notice what you bring to the table. Why are you confused that other people notice too? Why are you confused, babes? Do you not see yourself? Why are you Why are you confused? Don't be. So now, it's not something I embrace because it still makes me uncomfortable, but now it's like, okay, I get why you're staring. I get why you're mesmerized by my eyes. I get it, babes. I understand. I see myself every day in the mirror. I know what I look like. I know what God made, and he didn't make no mistake when he made me. So you really just have to go into that with that mindset, because trust and believe, when you go on this journey, you will get attention, and you will get attention like never before, and it will feel foreign. It will feel weird, and you just have to navigate that. You just have to my friend, she's been getting this type of attention, and she used to text me, and she's like, oh my gosh, like, I hate men, like, blah blah blah, they keep staring, da da da. And I used to be so confused, like, oh, what's the aggression, babes? What's all this aggression for? When I tell you, I understand, and this is exactly why I'm a homebody. I do not go anywhere but work and school, babes. I stay my ass home. But when I do go out, yeah, people stare. And now I get it. I'm like, oh, so that is what you was dealing with. I understand. I get it. I understand why you was texting me in all caps saying I hate men. I understand, babes. I understand it. But that's just now the territory that you are in. And I'm not going to stop dressing and, putting on my scents and putting on my jewelry just because, oh, some weird dude want to stare at me. I literally was on my way to work. I'll never forget. I was on my way to work, and I was wearing this exact same, outfit, the upper half at least. When I tell you, I was crossing the road. To the other side. All you see is this dude coming, straight forward. And he was in his, I don't know what you call it, that scooter thing. And he was, an older dude. All you see is him in the scooter like this. And his head is like this. Breaking his neck to look at me. I'm like, yeah, some of y'all are weird. Please, why are you... Anyways, I know why. Because I know what I look like. But get a grip. You act like you ain't never seen a pretty girl before. Relax. I'll never forget this other time I was at work, and this dude, he was, because in our workplace, we have a, what do you call it, this stand thing, and it has a map of where you can go in the mall. And this dude, I remember I was just going around the store doing my rounds, putting stoppers, putting jewelry, this, that, and I seen him. I had peeped him. He was there looking straight ahead at the map, at the screen. So I was like, okay, going back to doing what I'm doing. Why, when I go, what did I do? I think I was bending down, putting some jewelry away, or finding something for a customer, whatever. I go back, turn around. This dude, I kid you not, mind you, our store is diagonal. So this is our store, and it's diagonal, right? And he literally turns. He's like this, and he's like, this is him. I was just like, oh, so I have to turn myself around I didn't see what I just saw, because what the hell? I was like, okay, you're weird. Are you okay, sir? You don't seem right in the head. You got a few screws loose. because why is you looking like you are on demon time? That is crazy. And I was just so shocked. I was like, what the frick? And then I remember I looked back, and I literally looked back, turned my head ever so slightly. He was still looking at me that way. I was like, y'all men are weird. But you know what? It's just, this is just the life of a woman, honestly. Like, this is just what we go through, and it's sad, but it's true. That's just what happens. And I think also it doesn't help that I have like kind of a baby face. I look young. I don't look like I'm about to turn 20. I look like I'm freaking still in grade 10, grade 11. So, yeah. I'm saying that to say that you don't have to be comfortable with the attention, but at least understand why you're getting that and know that this is going to be part of your journey. And so if it is going to be part of your journey, you might as well embrace it. You might as well walk with a little bit more pep in your step, because you know you that girl. You might as well walk and swing your hips a little bit more, because you know you're that girl. You know people are going to stop and stare. So, embrace it. One last thing I want to talk about is self-regulation. Self-regulation, please, if you want to mentally become stronger and really feel like you are that girl, because mind you, all these tips that I gave in this video, when you combine them together, it forms and builds your confidence. That's the whole point of this video, to build your confidence, right? So, and there's ways to do that. Sometimes those ways are materialistic, and then other times those ways are mindset. They're mindset centered. So, with that last point of regulating yourself and your emotions, number one, don't be out here desperate. When you are out here desperate, you just look like you will accept any and everything, and any and everything will come your way. Absolutely the hell not. Okay? Oh, and before I forget, the other story that I said about like that whole, app thingy and how I felt, I don't feel that way no more, actually. I don't. Because now I look at it like, I like any guy that appreciates and likes me. Does that mean I will accept any and everything? Absolutely not. Some of y'all look like y'all are predators. Absolutely the hell not. But when I started doing that, I noticed, oh, okay, well, it's not just white men, it's not just white guys, it's like other guys now fluctuating towards me, some of my type fluctuating towards me, and you see the energy difference, you see the change, the shift. I don't know if it's something in the water that they drank that day, I don't know, but there is a shift. So that's how I kind of approach it now. And I'm not in a rush. I now don't feel like super, oh, I'm behind in life because I haven't done this yet with a dude and da-da-da-da-da. I don't feel that way at all. You know what I feel? I feel like Meghan Trainor, untouchable. Babes, I'm untouchable. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. So, yeah, find things that, find people, content creators that elevate you, because that's another thing that I did for my mindset. I found a whole bunch of YouTube videos and I went through them about confidence, about this and that, and I watched them. Look, if you need to take notes, take your notes. Take your notes, right? If you need to do that to, remember this stuff and actually implement it, do it, right? For me, I found some really good Instagram like content creators, and so Instagram is like a little bit more short form, but you're still getting the message. You're still getting what you need to get, right? And I found 3 good creators that do that for me. On YouTube, like, there's so many YouTube videos out there about confidence. Find someone that you can understand, someone that you like their personality, and stick with them. And then if you feel like they're kind of, doing or dabbling in stuff that you wouldn't do or dabble in, maybe find someone else. Always have a plethora that you feel like you can come to remind yourself, like, hey, I know who I am. Do you know who I am? Because if you did, you would know the value that I bring, and you wouldn't be treating me that way. Find people to remind you of those things. So that's a very good point that I almost forgot. But yeah, back to the self-regulation. If you look desperate, especially in dating, if you look desperate for friends, that's just a turn off for people. That's a turn off. I'm telling you right now. You may not mean to come across that way, but it is a turn off. It lets people know, like, oh, she's not as confident as she wants to be, or as she may believe in herself, or, oh, like, she's an easy target, like, to manipulate, because she's just so desperate for male validation, or for this, or for that. That's the signal, that's the message that you're sending people. Don't be desperate, Bookie. Don't be desperate. Don't beg. When you have friends that you have a great circle, they treat you like the queen that you are. When you come across people that are not treating you like the queen that you are, you just look at them sideways like, what's wrong with you? You woke up on the wrong side of the bed this morning? What's wrong with you? Like, and it's such a simple rule. If you know fully well your friend would never treat you that way, if you know fully well that you would never treat anybody else that way, why do you allow it to happen to yourself? Why? Just because it's a cute dude? Just because, oh, like, she's really popular and she has lots of connections, and, like, I really want to be friends with her because I think she's cool, but she's over here sneak dissing? Right. Absolutely not. Don't accept that. You deserve better than that. Like I said, with rule number 1, once you know your value, you can set boundaries like nobody's business. So quick. Faster than Thanos can snap and make the world disappear so quickly. So, self-regulation is part of that. Because you don't want to be out here looking desperate. And part of self-regulation is knowing when to walk away. When you know that you're about to explode and you know you're about to go off and cuss somebody out because they did you dirty so many times, but guess what? You were the one who gave them all them chances. Take accountability. Take accountability. When I see something, look, people probably have like 2 strikes with me, maybe 3, if I'm being generous on a good day. But after then, you're done. I cut you off. And if I don't cut you off, I'm cordial with you. I don't let you in too deep. You have to have, oh yes, discernment. That's another point. You have to have discernment to know how far you can let someone into your life and how much of your private life that you can tell them. Not everybody who smiles in your face really likes you and wants the best for you. And don't think that you can go out here just telling any and everybody your business. Don't let people know your next move. Some people will tear it down. Some people will say, oh, that's really big. Like, are you sure? That's a big goal. Like, are you sure you can do it? Some people will be like, oh, like, I don't think you're fit for that role. Like, maybe you should try something else, like such and such. Don't let people know your next move. Don't. Have discernment in what you can tell people. And honestly, sometimes that discernment comes with time and experience, but you will get there. You will get there. And then with the self-regulation, when you know that someone is pushing your buttons, step back. I did not have self-regulation in, I want to say like 2021, because that's really when I had a really big friendship breakup, and I was hurt, and I realized that I manifested that hurt into the form of anger because I didn't want to settle with it and let myself feel sad, because if I felt sad, then I would be vulnerable. And I didn't want them to see me vulnerable. Honestly, they didn't deserve to see me vulnerable, to be honest. But, yeah, regulate your emotions. And when you know to walk away, you will save yourself so much high blood pressure problems, so much stress. You will save yourself. Don't even, and it's come to the point where you have this calmness about yourself. You don't even have the energy to go back and forth. I remember there was a customer, and she was like, she asked me a question, She's like, oh, like, are the promotions like online on the website the same as in store, da da? And I remember I had answered her question. I said, oh no, like, sometimes they can be different. Most of the time they are different. It's not the same price, blah blah blah. And I said, oh wait, excuse me, because I saw a customer standing at the cash out, and they looked like they were waiting for a bag, and they looked like they were there for a while. So I stepped away, I went and grabbed. I said, excuse me, sorry, I'm just gonna deal with this customer. Went to the back. No, I asked the customer, I was like, hey, are you like waiting for a bag? They said yes, blah, blah, blah. I went to the back, grabbed the bag, came back out. The customer was able to get cashed out. And then the lady comes to me and she's like, it's not good to ignore your customers. Girl, what? She's like, you shouldn't be ignoring your customers. I was like, what? I was so confused. I was like, what? When did I ignore you? And then she's like, she kind of cut me off. She's like, no, because, like, you ignored me. Like, you just walked away from me. You didn't say anything. You just walked away. It's not okay to walk away from your customers. I was like, okay. And that's exactly how I looked at her. I said, okay. And she looked so confusion. She looked befuddled. She looked confused. And she looked like she wanted to start, like she wanted to continue. But because I just said okay and I shut it down so quickly, she didn't have anything else to say, but I know she wanted to say more. But you can't do that with me, Buki. You can't go back and forth with me. Don't make me take it there. And that's why I don't try to take it there. That's why I try to regulate my emotions. Because I know how I can get. I know how I can be. Yeah, I trust and believe I love the Lord, and I will try to live the way he wants me to live, and I will try to, have patience, and, I will try all these things, but, I'm human, I make mistakes, and also best believe that don't think that just because I'm, Christian and all that, that you can't get told about yourself, because you will get told. So that's why it's good to just detach, separate yourself from the situation before you will blow up. And it's good to have techniques. If you struggle with that, it's good to have techniques to calm yourself down. Okay? Find something. Search up something. If you have to do deep breathing, do what you gotta do. Because as soon as you blow up, that's when people manipulate it and turn the situation around and make it seem like you are just this super crazy person and you are just so mean and you're so aggressive. And you already know how they be with black women. You already know. So yeah, when I said that, it basically just shut down the whole thing, and she walked away. And then I was like, oh, is there anything else that you need help with, or would you like to know the price of this? Because one thing you're not about to do, you're a stranger. You're not about to get me out of character. I don't know you, and you don't know me. Pipe down. You got too much dip on your chip. Pipe down. So yeah, self-regulation. Do it, babes. Figure it out. Figure it out. Figure it out. Just honestly, now I'm just going off script. I don't even have any more points, but I'm gonna say one more thing that really helped me, because if you are going through a breakup or a friendship breakup or anything of the sort where it's a conflict in your life, I feel like it's good to arm yourself with the knowledge of with the knowledge of behavioral patterns. Okay? With the knowledge of narcissistic traits, okay? Because narcissism is a disease, baby. Narcissism is a disease. It is very much real. And there are people who are narcissists. When you arm yourself with the knowledge, and you know what gaslighting means, you know what breadcrumbing means, right? You know what these terms mean. You know the definition, and when you can see it act out, when you can see it, in a show, in a character of a show, or when you see it in a movie, or when you see it even in real life, it could be personal stuff with maybe between parents, or you see it with your friends or whatever. When I tell you, when you start to identify these things, it's a game changer. You start to know who to be wary of, and that's where that discernment comes in again. And it makes a world of a difference, because then you can even identify narcissistic traits that you may have in yourself, and that's the mental part. That's how you grow. That's how you evolve. Again, all of this is to help with your growth, with your confidence, with how you move, with how you present yourself to the world. Okay? So I'm just going to say one last thing because I've been talking a lot and I don't know if this is too long or not, but like I said, I get inspiration, okay? I get inspiration sometimes and then I write it down. So one thing I was doing to really help, and that's another thing, if you want to build up your confidence, don't just do all the things that I'm telling you, but do that and more, okay? Like, you gotta, I literally have this whole thing where I wrote out questions and I answered them about myself, okay? I said, what is my love language, right? I love acts of service, words of affirmation. What do you find sexy about your body? What do you like about your face? And I'm specifically going to read the entry that I wrote about my face, because it just kind of, it sparked an inspiration in me, so I'm going to share it. I said, I love how expressive my eyes are. I love that when I look at myself in the mirror, the first thing I notice are my eyes. From my brown irises to my curly lashes, even down to the shape, something about them just compels me to be hypnotized by their beauty. I love how so much of our body language can be interpreted through them, especially when we're speaking. You can see that I'm giving you my full attention, that I'm being an attentive listener just from the simple act of looking at your eyes. Our eyes also portray sadness in such a unique way. It's our body's signal to us and others that we aren't okay. No matter how hard we may be pretending, to cry is not to be weak. No matter how hard we may be pretending. Full stop. To cry is not to be weak, but to be brave enough to be vulnerable in front of others. I guess that's why I'm selective with who gets to see me cry. Either they lack the emotional capability to comfort me, or they just don't deserve to see me in such a vulnerable state of mind. It's why I always try to be mindful of how I treat others. I never want to be the reason for someone else's tears. I believe that the eyes are the windows to the soul. They tell our business even when we don't want them to. And sometimes they tell a story the world isn't ready to hear. So when you see people going through the motions of life, right? When you can tell that they're smiling but it's not reaching their eyes, it just goes to show how much weight they carry in our day-to-day lives. They're more than just a tool to see the world around you. They amplify our experiences and interactions with each other. Being able to see is a privilege that many take for granted. So don't be content with pictures of places you've never been before, taken by people you've never met. Travel the world and see it through your perspective, because one day that portal will close, never to be reopened again. And one thing I will say, find a creative outlet. Okay, if learning how to regulate your emotions means that you have to freaking be a poet, you have to journal, it means you have to write songs, do what you gotta do. And don't be ashamed of it. Because I had a friend, that same ex-childhood friend that I'm no longer friends with for a good reason, I was someone who wrote. I write things down, okay? That's just how I am, that's just who I am. And, she tried to make a little jokey joke. Don't let people embarrass you. Don't let people make you the butt of the joke. Don't let people try and dim your light. Yes, be humble as a human being. Be humble, but know that you are that girl, right? Because being humble will only take you so far. You gotta market yourself. If you want people to, invest in your business, you can't just say, oh, blah, 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 and be meek and mild. No, you gotta let them know what you bring to the table. If you want to make friends, it goes for anything in life. So don't let people try to humble you. Don't let people try and embarrass you, and don't feel embarrassed. Because embarrassment is a feeling. If you don't feel embarrassed, you can't say that you are embarrassed. I don't know where all this is coming from. I think I just had all this on my chest, but if anything that you gotta do to regulate yourself, do it. Do it in a healthy way. Coping mechanisms. There can be healthy coping mechanisms, okay? And You know, it's a trial and error. You may stumble along the way. That's okay. Pick up yourself. Pick up your bags. Pick up your feet. Keep moving. Affirm yourself. If you have to go in the mirror every day and say words of affirmation, do it, babes. Do it. Don't let anybody make you feel that you're crazy. And you know, that thing that I read to you guys about my eyes, I literally was talking out loud to myself. People will think I'm crazy. Oh well. Oh well. Because I just made, in my opinion, a lovely, I don't know what to call it. I don't know if it's a poem. I don't know what it is. But I made a lovely something. And I'm proud of it. And it just made me appreciate what I have even more. You can't make me feel embarrassed for that. So, yeah, I will say, if you need to boost your confidence, always surround yourself with positive people. That's another thing. Because if they're negative, babes, you will be drained. Everything will be about them, about their problems, about their issues, about who they don't like. It will just be all negative. You don't need that in your life. Cut it off. Cut it out. And stand on, again, back to the first point about boundaries. Stand on that. That person want to wiggle their way back into your life because they see that you're doing good for yourself, and that, oh, you really changed, and oh, you're looking a little bit more better. And you know those weird girls that want to be friends just because, oh, you're pretty. You're so pretty now. Blah, 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 blah. You're pretty. And I want to have aesthetically looking friends. That's weird. Anybody who does that, red flag. No, get out of here. You're weird. They didn't appreciate you then. They had a chance with you. You gave them a second chance too. That's the crazy part. You gave them a second chance. Why are you giving them a third? They're over here lying to themselves, lying to you, being delusional, talking about, oh, I changed, I'm no longer like that, you know, I don't like doing that drama stuff anymore, blah, 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 blah. And they still do everything that you dislike, that you told them makes you uncomfortable, that you don't like doing, that you find problematic, and they still do it. Don't play with yourself like that. Again, this goes into the other point of self-regulating your emotions. You will not, I'm telling you, once you have people that are peaceful, that you get along with, you won't even have to worry so much about that self-regulation, because you just have peace in your life. Surround yourself with people who are peaceful. You want to become mentally strong? Surround yourself with people who are positive. Surround your content and the people you watch with positive energy. Yeah, that's honestly it. The quality for this video is going to be so bad, oh my gosh. But I hope you guys can look past that. Whoever sees this video, I don't know if I'm posting it or not. I don't know how I feel, but hopefully I have the courage to. Hey guys, it's the next day. Yes, I'm still wearing, not still, but I did put back on the accessories, the clothes, the jewelry. Mind your business. Mind the business that pays you, because mine certainly does not. And I just wanted to pop in because I forgot to say something that was very important in the point of self-regulation. When you have your emotions regulated, like you don't want to be that person that, you know, you walk in the room and because you're not chipper, because you're not bubbly, because you're not smiling, people already know, oh, she's having a bad day, stay away from her for today. You don't want to be that girl that's not cute. You, honestly, if you, for example, are going to school in the morning, let's say you got into an argument with your siblings and you get to school, don't bring that same energy with you in school. And don't bring that energy around your friends. I grew up with a single mom, and that's something that she taught me. I know not everybody grew up the same way and was taught the same things, so I'm just saying this right now, so I do not forget, because it is an important part of self-regulation. Having an attitude at your workplace and, oh, because something happened beforehand with your friend or whoever, like, that's not cute, that's very ugly. And that is why I say that being pretty is a state of mind, because I could see the most prettiest person walk down the hallway and they have a stank face, or their attitude is not giving inviting, is not giving kind, empathetic. it's like, oh, okay, never mind. You're not as pretty as I thought you were. So keep that in mind when it comes to self-regulation. Like even simple things as like, for example, you get into an argument with your friend, you guys talk it out, but you're still feeling a type of way. And then, you know, she brings you around her other friends. Her other friends should not be able to sense that something's up. They should not be able to sense that there was an argument 2 minutes prior. You're doing something wrong if they sense that. Because you don't want to be now giving them attitude, right? Your friends, you don't want to be giving them attitude just because you're still upset with your friend. That's pathetic, to be honest. Take accountability, own up to how you feel, and if you know how you're going to act, or you feel like you're not in the right state of mind, communicate that to them so that they can cancel the plans, or you can step away for a moment, regain yourself, regain your composure, and then come back in. Because I don't want you to fake how you feel, but at the end of the day, you should not be projecting your feelings onto other people and making it their issue just because that's how you feel. That is very ugly. Don't do that. Don't be that person. Don't be that girl. And then, like, there's another point that I wanted to say. Oh, for point number 2, okay? When I talk about, you know, be unbothered with people's perception of you, right? That's the same thing as also not caring whether people like you or not. Okay? Like my mom, she said something, and I remember I wrote it down because I thought it was a good quote, honestly. She said, you know, I don't need everybody to like me, as long as the right people like me. And the right people do like me. And that's the energy I always want to bring. I don't need everybody to like me. I don't even like everybody else. I don't even like everybody that I come in contact with. I just wanted to add that in there. I didn't want to forget that because I thought that was very important. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video or are enjoying it. I don't know which part of the video I'm going to insert this clip, but it will be added. Alright guys, bye.